Okay? So if you want to calculate the sum of a series, there's a specific formula that you need to know. And that formula is Sn equal to n over 2, okay, multiplied by 2 in brackets 2a plus n minus 1 times d. Right? Now this formula is provided when you write examinations, but its derivation can be examined. Okay. In recent years, they haven't brought it in an examination, but normally it comes during like March control test, June control test, trial examination. But final examinations, they haven't brought it as yet. So you also need to know the formula for calculating the sum of terms in an arithmetic series. And this is the formula here. It is provided when you write an examination, when you write examinations on the information sheet. Okay? So this formula, Sn, stands for the sum of terms, the sum of n terms. N is the total number of terms. Okay? And A is the first term of the sequence or the series. Okay? D is the common difference. D is the common difference. This one? Yeah, the 2. N over 2. N over 2. Yes?
The two, the bracket made the whole big bracket.
Yes.
Is it like, is it multiplied by n over 2 or just n?
Yes, it's being multiplied by n over 2. So we have got a square bracket here. Inside the square bracket, we have 2a plus n minus 1 times d. Then you cross the bracket. So the n over 2, which is outside the square bracket, multiplies everything inside. Okay, please allow me to carry on. Allow me to carry on because I need to introduce the derivation of this formula. Right. Now, the derivation of this formula is examinable. Okay? And I'll send you the PDF once the group is on. Once the group is active, then I'll send you the PDF. Please allow me to carry on. Okay, you can catch up later. Okay, the next thing now is deriving that formula. So deriving the formula used to cover the sum of terms in an arithmetic series. The derivation is examinable. Okay, it can come in the examination. Now, to derive it, we start by writing the formula for a series using A and D, together with N, of course. So, right, Sn is equal to A plus D. I've already written this down here. Don't be surprised as to where am I getting it from. Sn equal to A plus D plus A plus 2D and so on. Okay? So this is T1, that's T2, this is T3. Obviously, this is Tn minus 1, and this actually is Tn value. Okay, so that's Tn, last term. Okay, so this will be our first equation. We call that what? First equation. Please, that just indicate when you write the heading that you can put in brackets and examinable, right, and highlight that. The derivation is examinable. Right? So this is our first equation. So Sn, which stands for series, is equal to A plus D plus A plus 2D plus A plus 3D up to A plus N minus 1 times D. And remember, this A plus N minus 1 times D, that's your last term of the sequence. And that sequence is arithmetic. You understand that part? Huh? Right. Now, do you know that, okay, this is quite interesting. Okay, here, we have started from the first term to the last term. But we can rewrite that same series by starting from the last term towards the first term of equation 1. So we can rewrite it by starting with this last term, so that it becomes our first term. Are you following what I just said? Okay, it's more like this. You agree with me that if I write 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, this is the same as 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2. And our answer there will be what? 9, 14. Right? Are you following? Yeah. So for the first equation, we are starting with A plus D up to A plus N minus 1. For the second equation, we just have to manipulate the first equation by rewriting it starting from the last term up to the first term of the first equation. So write A plus N minus 1 times D. Now the next term after A plus N minus 1 times D is going to be A plus N minus 2 times D. Alright? Then the third term, it will be A plus N minus 3 times D plus the last term, it will be A. So your last term here is going to be A. So that becomes equation 2. So don't get scared. We are just rewriting the first equation, starting from the last to the first. That's all. It's like me on your list here of your names. The last person on my list is Apile Mathala, right? I can start by writing your names here, starting with there at the top, so that she can be the first one at the top. Okay? That's the same thing there. Right? Then we do a manipulation now. We add the left-hand sides on their own and the right-hand sides on their own. Okay? Are you following them? So if we add the left-hand side of their own and the right-hand side, we will get Sn plus Sn. Okay? That will give you 2Sn. Okay? Sn plus Sn gives you 2Sn. Now this part is interesting. If you add A plus the first term here, which is A plus N minus 1 plus D, I'm sure you can see that this A here adds to that A. What is A plus A? 2a. So we end up getting 2a plus n minus 1 times d. Alright? Then let's add the second term here and the second term. Now this becomes a little bit complex, right? So a plus d plus a plus n minus 2 times d. Okay? Right, you simplify, but I just want you to, what would be the answer? It's the same as 5 times 20, which is what? 100. Right? So instead of adding them, you can just multiply the 5, since it's the same 20 times, right? 20 get 100. That's the same idea here. So our first term is the same throughout. Okay? So we have n terms that are equal to 2a plus n minus 1 times d. So all we have to do is multiply them by n. Multiply each term by n. We just choose one, we multiply it by what? By n. Then we divide both sides by 2, and we come up with this formula. Are you following? We have n terms that are equivalent. Therefore, to get their sum, we just multiply that term, which is the same, by n. Okay? Let's say if I want to give you 20 rand each, right? Instead of adding 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20, we just say 20 rand times the number of people you gave what? The 20 rand. That's the same concept. Right? So this 2a plus n minus 1 times d is like the 20 rand. But there are n of them. So it will be 20 rand times n, which gives you 20n. Don't worry about the n. What value is n? It can be any number, which is greater than 1. Right? So you need to know this formula. Right?